doing great, Mark.
We are live.
Appreciate you.
Hello.
I think I might join the live on my phone and see the question.
Welcome everybody, we're excited to talk with you all today.
Indeed. Yeah, welcome everybody. Today we have a lovely cast of classic camp individuals here to answer everybody's questions. We're real excited to do this day. We really want this to just be a nice gathering of people kind of sharing stories and good memories from camp. And we want everybody watching to be involved in this. So if at any time you guys want to ask any of these people a question, feel free to put it in the chat. And we'll be glad to answer anybody's questions. Before we do begin, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor for the month of May, Louis Walsh of the Walsh Investment Consulting Group of Wells Fargo, has sponsored our virtual camp for the month of May. We really appreciate that. So yeah, thank you for wanting to be a part of our camp family here.
Thank you, Louie. Mr. Walsh.
Good friends of mine, known them for a long time. And I thought we could start with just sharing our favorite parts of camp and our some of our favorite memories from over the long years that we spent there. So if anybody has a good one to start, just jump in.
I'd say my favorite part of camp is the first C day when all the campers arrive. That's a lot of fun because we get in a big line and cheer for everybody that shows up, and it's great to see all the buddies get to meet their campers and then just getting to know each other and meeting the parents and everything, and you can just feel all the energy for the start of a great week.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely one of the top 5 days of the week, I'd say. Every year.
My favorite. Did you guys hear me if I talk?
Yeah.
Okay. Is returning every summer as a camp leader, and getting to see all the campers that I buddied in the past, and to help like their new buddies make. I think that was always a really special part of camp leading. That's it.
My favorite part of camp definitely has to be the people. Everyone involved, the camp leaders, the buddies, the campers. It's just crazy how you enter the week as complete strangers with, like 70 people. I don't know how many people, but you leave as a big family, and it's just so amazing getting to make those connections with everybody, and especially with your camper. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick, shout out to everybody showing up here. Hey, Taylor and Moose and Annie.
One of my favorite parts of camp is I just always love the talent show because it's always just really cool to see like the end of the week and see.
Always a blast, when you catch the fish and you kiss the fish.
I'd say I think camp is just, so it's hard to just pick one favorite, but like Mara said, I think it's really awesome coming back every year and seeing how much campers grow in the buddies, but you'll see so much growth in the camper over the few years that you're with them. And then my favorite moments are probably from when we used to have the slide. I just love the time I'm able to do this all year. That could be going to the pool or going fishing, but you just see that it's like the highlight of their summer and for some their year, and it's just so special to give them those moments.
I think I have to agree with Olivia. I think C Day is definitely one of my favorite days. It's just like it's a little chaotic because everyone's kind of a little nervous and stuff, but it's like a
it's a good chaotic, you know, like we're all just super excited, and it's fun to see like that bond just starting to just immediately starts to grow just from meeting, and it's just such a magical day.
I think camp is also really cool, just because of how unique it is. Because I'll tell like my employers or future employers before like job, and they're just kind of blown away. What serves that population as well. Like it's such a unique dynamic that you have a high schooler who literally provides one-on-one friendship.
Yeah, for sure. More shout outs. Scotty Too Hottie, thank you for coming in. Mark Sion, Danny, Alex Knight. Glad y'all are here.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, with that, I think that goes well into we've spent so much time forming all of these memories over the years. I think there's also a lot of really important lessons that each of us has learned during our time at camp. And I know there's so much that I've learned, and even though I do know you guys well, I don't know like every little thing that each of you has learned. So I think it'd be really cool to share some of those lessons that each of us has learned. And quick shout out to Nicole.
Talking about what we've learned from camp, kind of like I said at the moments, there's so much after so many years. I think you get a lot of valuable experience, like Mara was kind of saying. Now that I'm in occupational therapy school, just talking about camp, talk about how they never have done anything like it and couldn't even think about exposing themselves to it. So it's such a unique exposure to a different population that I've learned very well how to advocate for others. And I think camp really shows you that everyone has their own right to do anything that they can. And so we just have that ability now to advocate better.
It's coming from within us. Like working in special education are always, advocating for their kids or whatever, but it's not coming from we as people from camp are advocating. It's just different.
I think a big thing I've learned from camp is communication. Just communicate better with everybody, with other campers, with your team members, with your buddies and everything. You have to learn how to communicate with people on their level to best get across what you're trying to say to other people, and like how they'll receive it and understand it, because not everybody will receive everything the same way, and so it's good to learn how to communicate with everybody. Like, and there's others because some of our friends are nonverbal or whatever else, so you can that's not so big of a communication issue as you might think going in. That it's not that difficult to get on the level with everybody there and have a good time.
Yeah, and I agree with like what Charles and Michaela said, because like working with the like a special needs population, I noticed that camp people like they advocate for so many of our friends, and not necessarily in a better way, but just in a more like respectful, better way. Like I think that we really do a good job at viewing people as people at camp, and that's something that we instill in our buddies like the minute that they walk in the doors. And I think those are just really valuable lessons, because it really teaches you how to treat people, and all people, regardless of if they have special needs or not. We really just value people for good. My strengths in like the work field too, like I know that I'm really good hands-on, and that I'm not necessarily the best when it comes to time management, and those are things that camp taught me.
Yeah, I think kind of going off of that, one thing that we talk about at camp a lot is bringing that campfire into the real world, which I think is super important because we do learn so much at camp, and we have so much potential to change our perspective at camp, but it really mean a lot unless we're able to take what we've learned and bring that into the real world. So bringing that acceptance to everyone in our lives, regardless of disability or, any aspect of someone's life, being able to accept them and learn from them and realize that everybody has something to bring to the table is really important.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that because I literally have a sticker on my laptop that says better at camp right now, just because I think at camp yourself, and I think that's something that I've learned to bring outside of camp. And just also going off what Maura was saying, like how we are able to recognize people as people at camp has made a huge difference, and like it's changed the way a lot of us interact. And I just think that's one of the most amazing parts of camp, is that it teaches you a lot about interaction and communication and just friendships in general.
I think as a camp leader specifically, I've learned a lot about leadership and teamwork, in that being a team, like, we're more like a family, but, like, being a team is going off of each other's strengths and weaknesses, and, like, knowing that it's okay that you have weaknesses, but you have the rest of your team to rely on, and that, like, especially being a new camp leader, it's kind of scary. Like, you have all these new responsibilities, but sometimes things are just about, like, going in and trying your best, and, like, it's okay if you do something wrong, because you're just going to learn from those experiences. And I think that's something that you apply to real life if you take on other leadership skill, like, positions and stuff. Like, you just got to kind of go for it.
And you learn sing-along skills.
Exactly.
Very important.
Yeah, I can always impress anybody I'm around if I just whip out all the words to the Moose song,
You can also make up bedtime stories at night with words relating to the Moose song.
Definitely learn how to think on your feet.
Yeah. And also another thing I forgot to say, but it's also been a huge help in accepting yourself, like not only accepting others, but at camp you can go and be 100% yourself. You can be crazy and weird and dirty and all kinds of things. No one's gonna look at you weird or think of you any differently. If anything, they're only gonna love you more. So definitely that has been a huge change in my life. Just learning how to not really care about what other people think, what other people think, and just be myself is awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that too, Carly. Just like not taking myself so seriously all the time. But like I also learned at camp how important like little things are and like little moments. And at camp you can kind of see like something that we might think is kind of small and maybe like uninteresting, like engages a camper and makes a camper smile so much. And that's just really important because it helps us see the little things that are important too.
I remember my first week buddying ever. It was the first sing-along, and I was like super scared of dancing and singing in front of people before this week. And I remember just like standing there and then just doing it, and I was shocked with myself because like I don't know, camp just pushes you outside of your comfort zone, but in the best way possible. And I remember just like that little moment was such like an impactful one for me because I was like, oh wait, I can dance in front of people and like sing in front of people, and it doesn't matter, and it's all about making your camper happy. And so that just really taught me a lot in like 1 second. So if camp can teach you in 1 second, imagine like all the other lessons that we've learned there. And it just shapes you. But I think getting outside of your comfort zone is something that camp forces you to do, but again, like in the best way possible.
Yeah, I think these are all really awesome things that we've learned, and they're definitely all things that we've learned from camp in general. Looking at the comments here, somebody that we all know very well and love deeply, Rebecca Alumni, wants to know, like, what's something specifically that we've learned from, like, one camper that we've interacted with. I know for me, there's just from the last time I buddied, I think I got a greater understanding of what it means to choose to love people, even when, like, in any situation. I was with somebody who was always willing to just give somebody a hug if they asked for it. He wasn't necessarily looking to go give that hug, but if somebody came to him, he was always willing to choose that love. So that was an important, specific lesson for me.
I was reminded of a lesson a couple days ago. I got all camp nostalgic a couple days ago, and I was going back through my Instagram posts, and my very last week of camp that I did, I buddied, and literally what I wrote was that which I think is something we have all learned every single week from every single camper, and it comes in a different form every time, because at that week I had done, I don't even know how many weeks of camp I had done at that point, but that lesson felt so fresh to me that week, and whenever I look back at that picture and that caption, like, it just comes back to me.
I remember I was sitting outside the chapel, and I was with CC McMillan, and I was with, oh, I don't remember this, I think it was Riley Spadafora, and it was the week that I was a junior in high school, and I remember sitting outside there, and I was like, I don't understand why people, like, they talk about people differently, like, there are people with, like, autism, or there are people with cerebral palsy, they're not, that it doesn't define them as a human, and I, like, was so frustrated with the world at that point. I remember Cece looked at me, she was like, dude, like, that's an actual thing, like, that's person first terminology, and I was like, what? She was like, I think you just grasped that entire concept, like, without even being taught it, and to me, that was just, like, a really remarkable moment, because, like, camp just teaches you all those things, and there's campers that, like, really teach you that they're people first, and so I remember that moment very vividly.
That's kind of funny because I have a similar experience with Cece. I remember we were just, like, talking about it once, and I was talking about how, like, at camp I've learned a lot about, like, communication, not using words, and then also talking about what Michaela was talking about, the simplicity of love, and I was just like, well, like what? Like, they're just, like, everyone's just a person, like, they're just people with like what you were saying. And she was like, yeah, she called it something, I don't remember what it was called, but it was, like, a certain, like, moment that you have where you're just, like, realizing, and it's, like, camp just teaches you a lot. And what I've definitely learned from campers is, like I was saying, like, being able to have that communication without, like, explicitly saying things, and, like, being able to, like, read people's emotions when you know them really well, because, like we said before, some of our friends are nonverbal, and so just being able to form that true friendship with someone and be able to understand them without the typical forms of communication is definitely one of the most important, that outside of camp, and just, like, because a lot of people aren't really good at communicating things with words, and so being able to, like, read people, like, that's just something that I've always learned at camp. So
Yeah, kind of going off of that also, I'm out here with my girl KK. I apologize for being a little winded. We've been here for a while. But Buddy and KK last summer was awesome. It was definitely a really unique buddying experience for me. But being outside of my comfort zone is learning what she needs and what she wants without that communication, and it was really special because now KK and I know her so well, and I know everything that she needs and everything that she wants, I mean, for the most part, but it's just incredible seeing how that connection can be formed without words, and it's something that's so genuine and so pure and so different than any other friendship that I've ever had. So, yeah.
looks like Moose in the comments wanted to offer his own lesson that he learned. He says, I learned to be part of a group and have fun with others, which I think is a really, it's a cool lesson about community. I think, like the necessity of being part of another group, of a community, of a family. That's kind of what we are at camp. We are a community that is a family. Warning, we only have just over like 4 minutes left. So a couple more questions. There was one good question that I had and that was put in the comments, which was about career paths. I know, Michaela, you talked about working in special ed now, or how that's your career path. So Cece was asking, what are some possible career options for each of you? And what about working at camp led you to that career option?
So I'm going into. You go, Charles. Is that Charles? You go, Guillermo.
What? Oh, no, you go. We were gonna take turns and go on each. We were gonna try to answer each one.
Do it.
What was the question again?
Just like, what about camp has led you to each of your career options?
Oh, okay. So I think without camp, I definitely wouldn't have chosen the major that I'm in right now. I bounced, like a lot of you know, I bounced around from engineering and like health administration and stuff like that. And last summer, I really found out that special education is probably the route for me. So just being like the relationships you make, the friendships you make with not just the campers, with the workers that your coworkers, your friends that become family. So yeah, that's probably that's my answer. And does anyone else? You guys? Yeah, good. Oh, okay. Someone else can go.
Alright, to hop off Guillermo, I would say that camp definitely guided my choice in career path. I kind of went into college not sure what I wanted to do, but as I met more people at camp and kind of got into working as caretaking as well, I heard about occupational therapy, and that's where I'm at right now, occupational therapy school. And so I shadowed and absolutely loved it, and so I want to work with like special needs in the pediatric realm with OT, and there's a lot of different options with it as well. But I know a lot of people get into special ed, OT, speech pathology from camp, and it kind of just guides you along, but it can also help you with almost any career.
Yeah, so kind of similar to Charles. When I was going to college, I wanted to major. Like I didn't know what I wanted to major in, so I was majoring in English. And then while in camp, I kind of learned what I wanted to do. But I recently switched it again, and so I want to go to grad school for applied behavioral analysis. So I thought another career path is going into ABA. That's basically like behavioral therapy for people with autism, and I want to go into early intervention. So I worked as an intern for an ABA clinic in LaGrange this past semester, and it was really awesome. I really got to work with sent me after that because I realized I learned a lot of like behavioral intervention skills at camp. I just didn't know the actual terminology for it. So that was really cool seeing how camp really shaped a career for me in that.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like the Zoom meeting is about to kick everybody off. So just want to say thank you all. Love you guys. I miss you guys. I hope you're all doing well.
Miss you.
And just thanks for sharing with everybody the
love you guys. Everyone.
everything you all have experienced.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, so that was our lovely panel of camp alumni, people who have all worked out at camp for years. That was really cool for me. I really hope it was cool for everybody else, just to listen to them share all that they've learned and everything. Before I end this, I just have a couple of announcements for everybody. Once again, shout out to Louis Walsh, the Walsh Investment Consulting Group. Thank you guys for sponsoring us. We really do appreciate it. And then next Friday at 3 o'clock, we will be having a prayer and reflection live stream right here on Facebook again. And that will be with me again. And then one last thing is, yes, if you want to go back and watch this because you missed any part of it, the video will be on this Facebook page, and we will be posting it on our YouTube page. So be sure to check that out if you missed anything. Thank you guys. Much love from me and the rest of my camp family to all of you. God bless.